Hi everyone, my name is Victor Ruiz. I'm going to speak to you today about the 6 attributes of adult learning by Malcolm Knowles and what I learned about these attributes. So the first attribute is need to know, and what this attribute meant to me was what's the need to know to take steps forward and how this attribute will help me. So some things to consider that popped into my mind were, for example, will I find much interest in the content learned? What skills and knowledge I gain from this? How will this degree enhance my career opportunities? So what these questions pertain to were me participating in the MATE program at Stockton University and how I can get the skills to take the next step forward, to keep going into my career knowing the correct things and knowing useful knowledge that I will be able to apply and keep on being successful within. So on to concept number 2, which is self-concept. And what this meant to me was developing into an adult learner and directing my learning and taking control of my learning. And how learners do this is learners start out not directing their learning too much when they're younger, and then as they grow older they gain more knowledge and more control of what is being learned and what is being learned. And that is very important for an adult learner to understand and to know what should be learned, for them to keep on being successful in school and then into their careers as well. Next attribute is experience, and some questions that popped into my mind when going over experience was, what am I supposed to reflect on when learning from an experience? So just taking that into consideration, something could be when you're experiencing something that you could find useful, how will you know what to take from that experience for it to be useful, knowing what to do in a future situation where it can come in handy. And these are things that are learned and picked up along the way, and it could be with school and also life, and that relates to these questions here. How will life experiences tie into my career growth? And then also what prior experiences might be useful, and that could be, like I said, in school, in education, like things you've learned, or things in life and how you can be better from these experiences that you were hopefully fortunate to come by. The next attribute is readiness, and readiness to me is being able to know something is important and being ready to advance in my career, for example. And how this applies to me is going for my master's, which I'm doing right now, being ready to take the next step forward, being ready to get a new job, being ready to advance in classes in the MATE program. Feeling comfortable and feeling ready is very, very crucial when it comes to taking the next step, because something you don't want to do is take the next step and not be ready to take the next step. For example, like when getting a new job or getting a promotion, it is a very exciting and enticing thing, but being ready to do that is very important, so you're able to do it in the right way. And some things that tie into this are, how can educators and presenters help with the readiness levels of learners? And getting your readiness level up is very, very, very important. And how can my unique skills connect to my own readiness? Knowing what you are good at and things that you have help on and things that you can work harder to improve can also all tie in to being ready to take the next step in whatever you are doing. The next attribute is orientation, and this one was very personal to me. It tied a lot into the program at Stockton, which is why I chose the Stockton colors here, because that really was what popped into my mind. And this is about knowing what is important to learn for myself and applying it. And that's one thing I really like about this program, that we are allowed to choose a lot of our electives, for example, because I was able to dictate and control, my learning and what was more important to me to learn, and then applying it. Some, like example, some tools that are learned in the MATE program, I apply at my current job now, Education Technology Coordinator, and seeing that all tie up and tie together is very, very rewarding. And like another question here, how what I'm learning help my current tasks? So these things all connect with one another, and seeing results from what I learned and then applying it make the full circle connection. And lastly, motivation. And to me, motivation is what motivates adults to learn and how to stay motivated. And one thing that ties to the motivation that's very important is resulting in happiness and success. That's something that's very important to me, and a lot of questions that I pose on my map here. Why is there more purpose for me to learn as an adult? Because we are still growing. Adult learners and learning as children and teens, it's all related, because even though you're learning growing up, some people may think you stop learning at a certain age. You don't. We're always learning, and that's one thing that's beautiful about education. The learning truly never stops. And another question to pose, just to have some good thought on, is how do I know if something is motivating me for the right reasons? So, like I just mentioned before, motivation, working hard, and then having the result of happiness and success is very, very important to learners, and can be a very rewarding feeling. And everyone knows what that feels like, because it's something that's indescribable and also just beautiful at the same exact time. I hope you enjoyed this video on the 6 attributes by Malcolm Knowles. My name is Victor Ruiz. Thank you for listening.